Hey, y'all. Hey, welcome to the accountability call number 32. Ciao. We are here. It's a Monday and it's a birthday. Okay. It's a birthday. It's a birthday. It's a birthday.
Oh,
Okay.
happy birthday. I know. Listen, blame it on my head, not my heart. I knew.
Hey, we gotta start from the beginning.
It's your birthday.
It's your birthday, girl. It's your birthday. It's your birthday, girl.
You know it's your birthday.
Show the world that it's your birthday. Hey, 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 hey. Child, I can't even deal. First of all, I can't even deal this April 22nd in 2024. Okay. I also cannot deal that I'm in my 40s. Okay.
Girl.
I'm in. Okay. I'm not just 14. I'm in my 40s. Okay. This is crazy. This is a foolishness. Okay, but I'm glad to be here because many did not make it. Many did not make it, but I'm here. Thank the Lord. Okay.
Hello.
Yes. So, honey, and I'm celebrating getting
Happy
stuff
birthday.
done.
Very blessed.
Thank you, boo.
Another year.
Yes.
Very blessed. Very happy to continue to celebrate with you in these earthly, worldly streets, learning and growing. Yeah. So celebrate you today. Happy birthday.
Thank you, boo. Thank you. Zenitra is over there in Mexico and living her best life. Okay, on a getaway. Y'all know I'm here for a getaway always. Okay. So we're gonna deal with it might be a little choppy on the internet, but don't worry, because that's what happens when you out in these international streets. Okay. These are the things. So
I'm
how
just
you
gonna
doing
tell
today?
you, I can barely hear you.
Oh,
I
really?
can barely hear you because there's a delay. No, it's because there's a delay and a pause, and then every now and again they catch up, and you're like, "Oh, really?" I'm like, "Yeah, okay, that was on time." But I am here with my best friend Christina. I'm here with my favorite cousin Tia, and we are just being in the space of being supportive of Black women and thinking about all the things that we need. And it's just been rejuvenating, and we ain't even 24 hours in yet. So we are excited about what we're going to be offering to the people in terms of what this space can mean specifically for Black women. So I'm feeling good, feeling great.
I love it. I love it. Listen, one thing Black women need more of is rest and ease. Okay.
Yes.
We definitely need more of that. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And rejuvenation.
Indeed.
So,
Listen.
baby. So, and I don't know where Eve is in the world right now. I know she's in Ghana, but I don't know where she's in the world. So I don't think she's gonna join us today. But if it's your first time here, this is what we do. We come here to hold each other accountable to our goals, the things we want to do, the things we have to do. So we can just live our best life. So, anything you learned last week, Z?
Okay, we all know Inez told us about human design last week. So I have been learning all of the things about human design, okay? And I guess we'll go ahead and jump into it. If you guys remember last week on my goal, saying no or having delayed yeses was something that I had decided was, something that I needed to work on. Well, guess what human design told me I need to do? That very thing. My authority emotional, and I have to be careful to not make decisions. I already knew that I couldn't make decisions when I'm in the lows, but I also can't make decisions when I'm in the highs because I will say yes to everything, hence me needing to have the delayed yeses. So everything that I was learning about human design and like my makeup was very affirming to who I am, how I already kind of move in the world, and be like, girl, do more of that, lean into that. You're doing it right. So I'm learning all of the human design things. How about you?
Listen, I'm right there with you. Okay, I'm right there with you because I was already in it, and now I'm pulling other people in it, like because that's what my human design is. I done pulled my husband in, I done pulled my friends in, I'm pulling my kids in. They don't even know. Okay, like just everybody is in it at this point. A couple of things that I learned last week was one. I learned that. So one of the things they talk about in human design is your not self, right? Your not self is all of the ways that you resist who you naturally are, right? All of the ways that you also have been conditioned to resist who you naturally are, right? So I had a situation last week where I wanted to really work with a friend on an event that I'm planning, right? But as we talked more about it, and one of my goals last week was to listen to my gut. Like my word last week was good. So as we started talking about it and we started planning it out, my gut was just like, no, ma'am, no, ma'am, no, Sam, no, Pam, no. Like, and I felt really bad about it, like to the point where I was fighting to find a way to make it a yes, right? We went round and around. We thought about, could we offer it this way? Could we do it this way? And the crazy thing is, I had already had a conversation with Z a few days before that, where we had decided that we wasn't doing it that way. We weren't necessarily, doing this jointly in the way that we had initially thought. But again, I was in my not self and I was fighting against it, even though that's what my gut was telling me. And so what I learned last week was like just how freeing it is to allow myself to listen to my gut and then be vulnerable about just where I am in my process with people who are newer friends to me, right? Because I ended up having a conversation with her and we were like, okay, this is how we're going to do it. Okay, we're on the same page, blah, blah, let's go. And as soon as I got off the phone, my gut was like, now you know good hell well. I said no. And I was just like, oh. So I had to call Z and be like, girl, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I had to get some coaching so that I could just lean into my real self and also get basically like, this is why you got to have good friends, y'all. Give me permission to just be vulnerable and say it however I would say it, right? So I had the conversation with her. I just sent her a voice note and just was sharing with her, like, this is where I am. I thought it was going to be this way. It can't be this way. Like, it's not feeling right in my spirit. And I know that I need to start listening to that. But I do want to work with you and I do want to do something together. And that, I mean, when I tell you, sending that voice note was very, very hard for me. Like, it was very hard because my human design avoids conflict. Like, that's my not self, is avoiding conflict. So it was very hard, but it was so freeing because her response was like, girl, me too. Like, I completely agree. She is like, her design is the exact same as mine, except for her profile number. So she was like, me too. I was feeling the same thing. And one of the best things was like, she was like, I'm really grateful that you said it. And I was like, that is huge for me because it took so much to say it, to get someone who is actually like, I'm grateful that you said it. It's just really reaffirming that I need to be saying it more. Like, I need to be saying what the gut is feeling more and more and more till it isn't so hard. I don't know if I would be fully comfortable, but to the point where it's like, I'm not like doubled over, like, oh, because that was me last week. So that's what I learned, like, is that I really just need to, like, this thing that I've uncovered with regard to being a sacral being and being somebody who's really driven by my gut, like, this is real. Like, this is a real thing. And I really have to start listening to it because it is really who I am. It is my authority, as they say. So the other thing I learned is I realized why my children are so triggering to me.
I was going to add on to that. One of the things that you said last week is that you're supposed to go and do the things so that people know that they too can do the things. So it's interesting how the cycle works because, as Inez says, she called me and I was like, girl, this is what you need to do. If she your friend, she's going to be like, okay, girl, I understand. How about within 24 hours, I was in the very same situation. And I had the exact same emotions where like I needed to call and tell someone that I was partnering with to be like, hey girl, we're not going to do it the way we said we were going to do it the first time. And like, I felt so bad because I wanted to be respectful of this person's time and their profession and their expertise. And to, Inez's point, I was like, I don't want them to be upset with me because it's somebody that I truly care about. And I still was sitting there like, I know I just told Inez that she just need to go ahead and do it, because if this person cares about her, then they will understand. I know those things, and I still feel nervous about reaching out to them. But I'm gonna jump in the deep end of the pool. So I just went ahead and did it, and was just like, she's just gonna have to be mad, because like we can't move forward the way I thought. And to Inez's point, the response was, "Girl, I'm so glad you said that," because I was not in the space to do, the thing that we had said we were going to do either. And so by you experiencing it, it almost prepared me for within 24 hours having to experience it and know what I need to do, even though I told you what to do. You would think I knew and I wouldn't have an issue with it, but I still had those same feelings, probably because they're human feelings. And when you care about people, you don't want to let them down. You don't want to disappoint them. You don't want to have any like fractures in the friendship. So these feelings will still continue to happen, even if you are fully realized in yourself. And, it's not a feeling that you can escape of not wanting to disappoint people. So keep doing you. Call me, so then when it's my turn, I can remind myself of what I said to you and how the outcome was for you. So I can
Exactly. Yes, I appreciate that. I received that. I received that because I didn't even think about that, but that's very true. That is very true. Yes. And speaking of true,
come on, true.
So I realized last week as well that my children are basically Zenitra. Okay.
Yes.
Now they are both emotional manifesting generators. What that means for me is they want to go way faster than I'm comfortable with on everything. And I'm like, oh yeah, I see that now. What it also means is if I don't run their energy out in the day, they're not going to sleep. And I've seen that, but I was just like, girl, go to bed. No, they're like me. Like we got to be ran down. Like our battery has to be low, and then we got to be exhausted, and then we'll go to sleep. So there's that. But then the biggest thing is one of the things is like I have an undefined emotional center and they have a defined emotional center, which means they're completely comfortable with being emotional and I'm not necessarily. Like I may be emotional, but I'm not comfortable with it. Okay. Whoo, honey. And now I realized why my children are so triggering me day to day, because number one, I was not raised in a home of emotional people. It's very much like, move through it, move past it. But then also I'm personally not a person who is comfortable with the emotions. So honey, they be dragging me through it, both of them. Like they be like, come on, girl. Between crying and whining and fussing and babe, mama, you hurt my feelings and I'm so sad. I just be over here splayed out. Okay. So I was just like, ooh, wow. I see now. So I'm very clear on that now. And I think even when I learned that, I was just like, oh. So what I also have to do is give them space to be that. Because one of the things that we had talked about is Z not having space to be that.
Come on. Y'all not ready for that conversation.
Okay.
Anyway.
Okay. Yes. So I'm like, I have to give them space to be that. And what that means is mama got to go to therapy because, baby, I have no space. I'm going to have to go because right now my space is limited. Okay. So, yes. So that is what else I learned last week. Okay. So, Z, did you bring your book down there? How did you do with your goals last week? Do you have it with you?
Don't play with me.
Come on.
Don't play with me.
Yes. Okay.
Yes, it's on the book. Okay, so my 4 goals last week. The first one was to set new goals, and I am giving myself space to do that. Like that's not something that can be completely completed in 7 days. So I do have some very clear direction in terms of 2 things that I want to focus on. One being my positive overthinking. that little thing that I developed, because that's gonna be something, child.
Honey, it's
Get
gonna be
ready.
something big, honey.
That's gonna be something. That's gonna be something big. Positive overthinking, and then linking that to my Unlearn series, Life Unlearned, Leadership Unlearned, Communications Unlearned. So those are like the big picture things that I'm going to be developing. You know, programs, content, keynotes around. So I do have that. Then next was create daily discipline boundaries. Um, I had to get my energy back because I was feeling real low on the energy, because whenever you out here healing childhood trauma,
Listen,
baby, it will wear you out. Okay. And sometimes you just need to lay it on down, and allow yourself to like get used to the new calm that you're creating. So once I got my energy back, baby, let me tell you how your girl was doing all other things. In true Zenitra fashion, it happened about 36 hours before my trip. So I was, moving mountains before it was time for me to get on the plane. But just it helped me to begin to think about like systems that I want to put in place, whether it's around laundry or mail, or working out. So it's coming together. It hasn't like been solidified yet, but that's definitely happening. The say no, delayed yes.
uh-oh.
Yes,
My
last week.
said
But
say
it
no,
was affirmed that that's something that
say
I need
no,
to
delay,
focus on
yes,
through the
what now?
human design. And ask for help. I definitely did that. What happened?
You broke out
Did it cut out?
right before you said say no, delay, yes.
Oh, I didn't have any situations where I had to do that this week, but I was just affirmed in my human design, that that's something that I need to do. And I definitely asked for help, and I asked for help early, like Monday. And one thing that I do want to share, and again, I gave this advice to somebody else, but I really needed to have it for myself. You deserve to have people in your life who will be inconvenienced for you. I
Yeah.
think a lot of times we try to like not get in the way. And so we end up not asking for help. It's like, oh, well, I know they're busy and I know, but you will inconvenience yourself. You will sacrifice for other people, but you deserve to have people do the same thing for you. So I had a situation where, and it was like, this not even something big, it was something small. I needed an errand to be run. I did not have the time. I had a lot of meetings coming up, and I had to ask my mom, like, hey, can you go run this errand for me? And I know that seems simple, but like it took a lot for me to be like, not only to ask, but to stand firm in my ask when she told me the challenges or the obstacles that was in her way, why she couldn't do it. And I was like, I'm sorry, I need it. And guess what? She got it done. And I had to be reminded that I deserve to have people who would sacrifice for me, who would be inconvenienced for me. And so I just want to lay that on y'all. Make sure you allow yourself to let people be inconvenienced for you.
I love that.
Yeah.
Especially
So
for
those
my
are all
mama.
my
Baby, everybody inconveniences us.
all the
Okay.
time.
All the time. You live in a life of
Mhm,
inconvenience if you are mothering, like, or even caregiving, like, baby.
mhm.
So it's so good to just lean into the fact that it's okay for you to inconvenience others as well, because the people who are really in your corner, who really love you, who really support you, are willing to be inconvenienced by you too, right? Because that's why
Yeah,
you do it for others.
yeah, for
Yeah.
sure.
So yes. I was like, initially, as I look back at my goals, I was like, I haven't looked at these goals since last week. So I was like, I don't know what I did or what I didn't. But I must say, I did everything but one thing, honey. I was like, oh, wow, come on. Like, I was supposed to open up the wait list for the Getaway, which I did do. The Getaway 2024 wait list is now open. Go check it out on Facebook or Instagram. I'm gonna drop the details of location and what we're gonna be doing, all those things, at the beginning of May for the people who are on the wait list, and they also are gonna get access to some special bonuses. So make sure that you go and join the wait list if you want to go with us. I planned my birthday. I'm not doing much today for the most part. My daughter is determined for me to have a party. I'm like, true, I'm not having a party. Like, she's like, but it is your birthday. So what are we doing? Like, She's like, maybe we need to go to Auntie June's bakery and get some cake. I'm like, girl, we not going up there. Like, so, but yes, I did plan something special for myself. And I'm really excited about it for later this week. And I created the content I felt like creating, which was on my list of things to do, create what you feel like. And then also trusting my gut. Like, and I was really doing that this week and this weekend. Like, it was so crazy to me. It's just a crazy space to be in for me to shut down my head. Like, y'all don't even realize my head been running shit for 40 years. Like, okay. Can you imagine? Can you imagine something been running something for 40 years and you just be like, you fired? What? Girl.
You fired, but you got to stay here and do other things. You're fired from this position.
You're fired from this position. Ooh, honey, it's been crazy. The only thing I didn't do was talk to my lenders and decide what we want to do with our investment property. And that's one of the things on my to-do for this week. And really today. Like, I'm just ready to make a decision on what we're gonna do. So, and I was definitely led by my gut last week. So yes. Now let's talk about this week. Let me just flip through these pages. Where am I pen at? Okay, so this week I got 2 goals. I don't know about 3 and 4. Actually, 4. I feel like 4 is definitely gonna be staying in my gut again. Let me think about that. Do you know your goals? I feel like number 4.
Let me affirm that I have 2 goals, and the other 3 and 4 are just coming from last week. So go with that. That's
okay.
where we are right now.
Okay.
So yep, that works.
Because that has been. Oh, actually, you know what? I'm just gonna trust my gut. Is it trust my gut? Yep, trust my gut. Trust my gut. So if you're new here, we do 3 to 5 goals every week. Business, life. What we have learned is put on there what you really need to do as well, so you still feel accomplished, and don't just put on there the the things you would love to do if all goes well, because all is not going to go well. Okay. And one of the goals has to be a self-care goal. Something that is going to fill you up. So, and let me think about my 3rd goal. So my first goal I have is talk to my lenders, right? And decide what we're gonna do. That's number 1. Number 2 is I want to talk to. Let me do 5, because you know what, I might be over exceeding. I want to talk to 5 moms about the getaway. My self-care goal is to trust my gut, and I'm trying to figure out what the 3rd one is. I might do 2 self-care goals this week because it's my birthday. So
come on.
Yes, like it's the birthday week. Like, so the other thing I'm gonna do is like I'm gonna just do self-coaching and journaling as my other goal. Yeah, like one of the things that my business coach talks about is how important it is to coach your own mind through your journey as a business owner. And I have been slack. I feel like I haven't really been in my self-coaching probably since the end of last year, which is crazy. But I started doing it last week, and I was like, I need to dive back into this, because if you can manage your own mind, you can do anything. You can get anything done.
Man.
So that's what I'm going to be doing this week, is self-coaching myself. Also, I wrote in my journal last night, literally at 12 o'clock. 12 a.m. And as I was writing, I was just like, I am really excited to look back on this stage of my life and be able to go through my journals and be like, wow, girl, like look how far we've come. Like, so that's why I also want to do more self-coaching, just so I can, like, as I get further, I can be like, these are the things that help me to get where I'm going. So yes. What about you?
Okay, so for the week, first, I'm going to complete my team building workshop, kind of like accompanying worksheets, especially since it's Friday. Hey, we're gonna have to slap it together. Even though it's not, I've already been thinking about it. I just actually have to get our designer to get it done. So that's what I'm working
Mhm.
on once this call is over. Also, I want to create my abstract and framework, abstract for keynotes, and then framework for workshops for positive overthinking. Um, that's number two. Number three, I'm bringing over the daily discipline slash boundaries. Funny
Mhm.
enough, so back when I was and when I think about a time that I was in a good space, I used to love waking up at 5 a.m. Like it just like made me so happy to do that. And when I tell you I'd be struggling at 6 a.m. right now. So I'm trying to get back to the place where like I'm rested enough, my mind is clear enough, I'm resting well because I'm not, stressed and thinking. So one of the things that I had put on here was, to get back to waking up at 5 a.m. But also, as you were talking about journaling, y'all know I don't be loving to write. How's and ever, I know that this is a very critical time of change and transition. So to your point, I want to document it so I can look back on it, but also like, for my kids to be able to like see where I
Mhm.
was at this point in their lives. So I am going to add journaling to my daily discipline.
Mm.
Father be with me.
Sweet.
So that I can actually get it done. So yes, but continuing to create my daily discipline slash boundaries list, which was from last week. I'm going to keep the delayed yes on there because Lord knows that's something that I struggle with. It's going to take some time to practice that and to get comfortable with it. And then number 5 is going to be to begin working on a new Riot Retreats marketing plan because
Mhm.
this is going to be
Mhm.
so good. People got to come out here
Mhm.
and experience this. It's just like it's amazing. So
I'm excited.
so yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes, yes. And actually, you just made me add a number 5 to my list, which is lean into my 2024 principles. Because at the beginning of the year, I talked about not setting goals this year, but living by certain principles. And I just really need to revisit them. Now we in Q2, by the time people be setting, and by people I mean me, be setting like certain things we want to do at the top of the year, and then by the time April come, we like what? We just back to normal, and I'm like, no, no. Especially
Mm-hmm.
like, given this week is kind of like a rebirth year. It's a new year of life for me. I'm like, yeah, let me go back and visit those and see like what are we living, what are we still living by, and what are the things we not living, and let's get back on track. Let's get that back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so the word for the week. What we do is we choose a word that is going to help us get these goals done for the week. Last week, my word was gut. Last week, Z's word was redirect. Eve's was ease. You know what I've been really thinking about is like one of the things I've been thinking about, and this is like a very vulnerable moment for me. I have been really focused on my business and my life and our property this year, and I have not really been walking the talk, I feel like, when it comes to making space in my life for a getaway.
Ooh.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm like, I had a conversation with one of my friends. We spent a lot of time birthday parties this weekend with other little babies, and I was talking to one of my friends, and like we have a trip coming up in July, which has now turned into a couples trip. I'm super excited about for July 4th weekend, and I was like, girl, you're not even planning this trip. You're not even thinking it through. You're not doing the things because you're so over here. Um, and in some way, like not even just like leaning into the fact that it's happening, right? Like leaning into the fact that it's happening, taking the next best step, all the things that I tell people to do. So I was like, you know what, baby? It's time for me to really like start doing that for me, like, and start doing it for me again. Like, I feel like the first 4 months of this year, I have not, my eye has been off of that ball, like, and start living in some of the main things that I share with people to do in order to make space in their life for a getaway. Um, so yeah, like I need to be planning, like I have the getaway that I'm planning for October. Um, I have the one for July, but I'm like, I just need to get back in my travel bag. Like I need to get back in my travel bag. Because one of the things that I believe is that no circumstance changes the fact that I'm a traveler and I'm supposed to be out in the world. So whatever's going on in life, that does not change the circumstance. I mean, that circumstance does not change the fact. And so I was like, okay, like just, you know what? We're not gonna be saying one thing and doing another. We about to be doing the things. Like, so I don't know what word that is, but I feel like it's that for this week. Like, really, just like, even when it comes to my principles, like, I'm not just going to be saying one thing and doing something else when it comes to my 2024 principles. Like, I'm not for myself coaching. Like, I'm not going to be coaching others and I ain't coaching myself. Like, that's just where I am. I feel like this week. So, whatever word that is, y'all.
Listen, I feel like the word or the week for both of us is going to be that, because I too did not have a word, but more so an experience. But first, let me just affirm you in the fact that like you took a big trip last year, and like you're barely 6-7 months from that. So like, let's not make it seem like you don't be doing it. Okay, you just need to move it back up to the top of the priority list. So
Yes.
give yourself a break, give yourself some grace, and then put the trip on the books.
Right.
Okay. But don't make it seem like you don't do, like you're not walking the walk.
All the trips last year. Like I
You
took
just
like
walk from Bali. You walk from Belize to Bali. It's fine. You are walking.
It's fine.
So we're not gonna let you beat up on you like that. Not in front of me. But like you said, I didn't have a word.
I ain't gonna let you talk about you in front of me, okay?
I don't play about you. Not even when it comes to you. Not happening. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so give yourself some grace. But as I think about, again, just like I know that I'm in a space of like crazy transition of like going from one level to the next. Like I know it. I would say the first 3.5 months of the year, I was anxious about being just not being there, whatever there represents, but just being in this kind of middle space of like what is going on and not having certainty. But now I'm like, oh no, I know something big is coming. I know it's just right around the corner. And so I'm trusting that. So I don't know if maybe trust is my word, but I know that the things that I'm doing now are creating the future that I desire, in a big way. So I just got to keep doing it. I got to trust that that's what's happening. And that's the reason why I'm doing the work. And that's the reason why it doesn't seem clear, because I'm doing a lot of things also as a manifesting generator. I'm working on 4 different things at the same time. But just trust that it's happening, So I think even though initially I didn't have a word, but as I'm talking it through, I feel like trust is my word. Trust that it's happening.
You know what? I think I was just looking up. So I just Googled because I was like, what is something? What is it? And this is what I Googled, y'all. I just be like, I don't know how people just be asking questions at all because I Google everything. So I just Googled word for walking the talk. Like this is why I feel like, and the word is practice.
Oh yeah.
Yes, like practice. Like just do the things. Like it's funny, it makes me think about AI every time because this podcast I watch, they always be laughing about it because back in the day he used to be like, practice. We talk about practice. You want me to go to practice? But yes, like just practice. Like, and that is so. There's so many things that I'm practicing right now. Like whether it's practicing trusting my gut, practicing my principles, like practicing my self-coaching, just everything. Like just there's so many things that I'm practicing, but even thinking of it as practice versus performance when you are a performer is big. Okay. So it's not performance, not perform, but it's practice. Like, and I love that. Like, I love that. Hold on, something.
That's good. We're gonna have to talk about that on Tip on Top of Tip on Friday. Just
yes.
Practice is the
yes. Like, so yes. Any other thoughts you have?
You know what? happy birthday. Thank you for creating this space. Um, it's so many things that you want to do, but sometimes you just don't feel like it. Including these accountability calls. Sometimes I just don't feel like it. I don't feel like thinking. I don't feel however, when you have a space that you can go to with people that you like, it allows you to get up and do the things. So thank you for being you and creating this space so that, you know, we can get better at being ourselves and actually make the things happen that we want to happen, that we want to happen. So
Yes.
happy birthday to Inez.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. I appreciate that because I'm with you on that. I'm definitely with you on that. But I'm so glad to have this space as well, and I'm glad that I brought this space to the world, right? Because I'm like, we do this anyway, y'all. Let's be clear. We was doing this before the accountability call started. Okay, we just turned the camera on. Okay,
And it had a set frequency, like, oh, so it's every Monday. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
You can't skip no meetings now.
Right.
I can't go 6 months without an accountability call. So here we go.
So this is a really heartwarming space for me, but it's also a space that calls me to my greatest self. So that is what is so important for me. So, all right, ladies. I mean, gentlemen and folks, I'm so used to both being here. Like, like it's just me, y'all. Enjoy Mexico.
Thank you,
I cannot wait to be down there on the ride retreat as well.
Yes, ma'am.
Taking in some of that goodness. And I'm about to go off and try to get cute for the birthday, y'all. I done cut my hair and color my hair. Like, I'm going to get cute.
Get cute, boo.
Take some pictures, even though it's freaking 40 degrees outside.
Yeah, I don't have those problems right now. Right. So,
all right. Have a good week, y'all.
Bye.